Hi, my name is Sue Aveyard and I'm the pastor of our church at Bolton Southend Street. Just before I sat down to prepare for this thought for the week, I watched the thought for the week from Tuesday the 29th of September by Peter Clark, and it really impacted me because he was talking about scrolling through social media and how it affects us, and about choosing to look at what is on there through the prism of what builds up, the fact that love builds up. And so anything that wasn't doing that he would set aside. And I just agreed with him on this, because over the last few weeks or so, I've been spending less and less time on social media, because to be quite honest, a lot of what I've been reading, a lot of what I've been seeing has just been making me feel sad. Now, as he said, there is stuff out there that, yes, we still should still look at because it challenges us and causes us to question. But to be honest, there is a lot of stuff that can impact us negatively, and we have to choose not to allow it to do that. We have to choose how we react. Now, the reality is we are living in difficult, confusing, strange times, but we can choose what we hold on to. If you were to go to Myers-Briggs, I am what they call an ESFJ, so I'm what they call an extrovert, which is not the loud, out there kind of person, but some people would dispute that I am. But it means that I get my energy from being with people, and that is true. And so being in these four walls with a lot of time on my own with Andrew working has been hard. Don't get me wrong, I love my home. I love spending time with my dogs and being with Andrew when he is at home. But being alone a lot has not been good for me. And one of my congregation said to me, this must be really hard for you, not being able to hug people. And yes, it has, because that is what I thrive on. I thrive on being with people and showing love and care and compassion. However, if I had to choose between keeping somebody safe and hugging them, I choose to keep them safe. I choose not to react in the way that I normally would, because I know how important it is. And sometimes we have to choose to do what is important to encourage us, to feed our souls, to just energize us as we move throughout the week. Now, one of the things that I do is that I go to the book of Psalms. That is where I find my encouragement when I'm struggling, when I'm feeling sad, when things are getting to me. Why? Because it is in the Psalms that I find the encouragement to keep going. They remind me to trust in God because of all that the psalmists go through. There are some great praise psalms, but there are a lot of psalms that talk about struggle and how they live through it. And so recently I spoke in my church on Psalm 27. And Psalm 27 begins with these words: "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I be afraid?" The psalm begins with knowledge of who God is, my light, my salvation, my stronghold. Begins with, I know who God is. I know what he's done throughout the generations. I know that he sent his son to die for you, for me. I know that. I know that God provides. And because of that, we can trust him. It then goes on to talk about enemies attacking and armies besieging, and yet the psalmist remains confident in God. Why? Because the psalmist knows God, knows what he's done. And then comes a lovely prayer. If you get a chance, go and read it. A prayer of seeking God's presence, of asking for God's teaching, of acknowledgement of who God is. And then it closes with these words: wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. I actually, for once, prefer the New King James versions, which talks about be of good courage and he will strengthen you. And there you have this relationship between what we are called to do, which is to trust in God and to wait upon him. And he will strengthen us, allowing him to work within us. So may I encourage you to hold on to what you know of God, and that whatever affects you in a negative way, whatever makes you sad, choose to give it to him and wait on him and allow him to strengthen you, allow him to work in you. May God bless you, and may God's grace, peace and love be with you, both now and always. Amen.